It's my kind of video because we're straightening out things that's very difficult, at least for me when I was growing up, difficult to find somebody to help straighten it out. Because you have the collective mainstream way of doing things and thinking, but if you're not in that, then that level of troubleshooting and answers, it like doesn't apply. You can feel it. You can feel it inside you. Like, that doesn't apply though. Like, it sounds right on paper, and maybe for other people it applies, but it don't apply to me. So what applies? Huh. Does anybody know? This is what I was dealing with for many years, and this is why I share what I share, because I know there must be other people that also are dealing with it. You can't bring this to your parents or your priest or counselors and therapists or even a lot of spiritual teachers. Like, there's like no satisfaction. I didn't have any. When I would bring them certain issues, I didn't get any satisfaction. There was no resolution. I would just leave. I'm like, okay, that sounded nice on spiritual paper, but there's something being missed. They don't understand what's really happening. I'm in the car today because intruders are at my spot, but I wanted to make this video. So we're talking about in terms of like letting go of certain desires and attachments and things that it feels like it's sticky. It's hard to let go because there's a difference. There's a difference between a desire subsiding and the actual root or seed, causal seed of a desire being burnt up. There's a difference. So this is what we're going to get into, because I had trouble when I would I would have something, I don't know, relationship, it ends, and with a girl, and I would have trouble letting go. Like I was, I had to go through some grief process, and then I would see others, the relationship ended, and then they just kind of like, okay, whatever, on to the next one. They'd be in the next one. I'm like, how can you get into another one? This would be the inner dialogue. But just using relationships as an example. How can you get into the other one, another one, when you didn't even process this one? Nah, ain't no processing of grief, man. She's gone. Here's another one. I couldn't. So that would be some of this silly advice that I would get, that I was sharing at the beginning, that didn't apply to me. They make it look like you need to be strong and just like let it go, forget about them. That's what I did. I forgot about them, like they're stupid. That's all you do. What's wrong with you? Why are you so weak? Why you hold on? You see all the brain damage that can cause, spiritual brain damage. Because then I'd be thinking, I'm like, wait, how are they stronger than me? Not in an egotistical sense, but in terms of stability. I would watch them in their daily life. They didn't seem like they had much inner strength, actually. So I'm like, how do they not feel or process the ending of a relationship that they said they had a strong connection with the person and intimacy, but yet it ended and they're like, okay, I'm gone now. So it can be relationships, it can be certain addictions, habits that just, they're like hard to let go of, man. You can't let go of it. You try. And you have more willpower than the person who so-called let go of it. Like, that through experience in daily life, you see it. But yet they just put the habit down. But you're still have it. You still, like, why can't you let it go? Yeah, this is the crux of what I want to what I want to talk about today. And to use these are just words to try to illustrate and point. So don't get offended. If you get offended, that means you must be, you feel I'm talking about you. So we're talking about, let's say, new souls and old souls. The new souls, they don't process things too deeply. They're kind of living on the surface of life, superficial. So they don't process. They don't have depth. If you have depth, it's going to be harder to let go of these things. This is what the video is about. Yeah, but shouldn't, if you have depth, you see that everything's the self and you're the self, you start talking non-dual, and then you think, well, why am I having a hard time letting go of anything? I have depth. because it's opposite. A lot of things in life, it's opposite. The superficial people, or the new souls, I'm not making fun. I'm not cutting them down. I'm just like, it is what it is, man. It's like not personal. That's what I'm saying. If somebody takes it personal, like you took it personal. I don't mean it for it to be personal, but it's like when a child throws a tantrum, a little kid, and it lasts. I'm talking about something else now. I'm giving an example to try to illustrate how my points. Somebody throws they throw a tantrum, and screaming and kicking the floor, and then 10 minutes later, they're like, happy again. Give them some ice cream or something. Oh yeah, the baby's happy again. Or a dog. If a dog gets mad, 5 minutes later, he don't care. He's ready to play again. How? Why? Because did they transcend? When the baby's throwing the tantrum, is he is he transcending all this, whatever trauma and feelings and deep buried emotions, and he's transcended it now, and he's alchemized it, and so now he's in bliss, and that's why he's happy? Transcended all that in 10 minutes? No. It's the opposite. They don't have the depth to actually, they're not roasting the seed. These karmic seeds comes in all forms, and this is what causes us to be attached to certain things that you shouldn't be attached to, or it makes it harder to let things go, and addictions and habits and relationships and all the things that life brings that makes drama, inner drama for you. Those things, if you have depth, those things are hard to let go. Why? Because those who have depth, you're like processing, because your destiny is to burn the seed. It's not just to kind of like sweep it under the carpet and distract yourself and get away from it. No, you're like, people with depth feel everything, and so it's more challenging. when some issue, like, let's go back to the relationship, if that comes up, then you're gonna feel, it's not just like, oh, it ended, I'm mad at her, oh well, I get better. No, there's layers. People with depth have layers, because the seed's deep in the ground, right? There's layers. So the old soul, whose destiny is to eternal liberation, because once you're free of something, you're free. You don't need to go through the same class again. They've signed up to burn the seed. They want to burn the root. They don't want to just kind of trim the branches a little bit, trim the branch. No, they're like burning the root of the tree. That takes a while to burn. If I light that, you can't see it. If I light this big tree on fire, it's going to take a while. If I'm going to burn the trunk of the tree, that takes a while. This is what some of the deeper souls are here to do. So if you're in a relationship, for example, and it ends, it's not that you're just feeling it on a biological, physical level, this pain. Or if you have an addiction, you're not just feeling it biologically or physically. That's surface level. A deeper soul, you're feeling it, man, on all levels. All levels. Emotionally, physically, psychologically. It's karmic. You feel the karmic, like, attachment, the deep, you feel like, what is going on here? Why am I attached to this? It doesn't make any sense, but you feel that energetic intertwinement with a certain situation you're having trouble letting go of. You're aware of all that. Superficial person's not aware of that. So they kind of just, distract themselves, because this life isn't for deep transcendence. They're here just kind of experiencing life and what's it like to have a human body and have some trouble and have some fun. And this is what they're here to do. Not here to look on and deal with causal seeds. They're not here to fry those. But if you are, you're going to be aware of all these levels, and it can seem super heavy. And that's why I was like, how do they just get over that so quick? I'm like, it doesn't make sense. And the spiritual teachers, well, you just need to meditate more and you need to pray more. I'm like, no, this is beyond that, man. This is this is like real time. Like I'm out in the field. All that sounds nice, yeah, but I'm like in the field, like I'm in the alchemy. Can you help me with that? Do you know what it's like? That's the thing. I don't think a lot of them know what it's like, or they're just kind of they're so distracted and engaged, being busy in the world, they don't have a chance to actually feel what it's like. It's still there, though. That's the thing. It's still there. There's a difference between not being so emotionally affected by one of these karmic seeds versus when it's just been burnt. It's just different. You don't feel this tension in the background. Most people are in their subconscious. Most can't, they're not aware of their subconscious. Subconscious acts in the form of tendencies. You feel tendencies. You feel this inner, kind of pressure or static. Most aren't aware of that. So those who have depth, you're aware of all that, and these addictions and attachments and etc. that comes up in life, it brings all that out. So they're dealing with multiple layers of karmic debris and identity. They're dealing with the that's the causal seed. I made videos on that. It's like you're like, what is this? Who is this person thing that's so attached to this thing? Automatically you start to on whatever level you can, you start looking at that stuff, not as a technique. It just comes natural. Your analysis is deeper. You're like, what is this? Why? Who? Like what? Why can't I just let it go? Like I can't. But there's this karmic energy momentums keep pulling me to this thing that I know I need to let go of. Why can't I let it go? See, that's real work. That's an example of burning the trunk of the tree. The average new soul, like, they don't do that. They don't even know what you're talking about. It's not alive for them to do. This channel is for those who are more, their souls are more seasoned, because I don't know, God wants me to, like, this is the people I'm speaking to. There's enough people speaking to mainstream level. We don't need somebody else to do that. And I have no desire to anyway. So my videos are more tailored for those older souls. You feel like you're going through like some kind of karmic surgery, man. That's how I felt, because you're seeing all these layers, like attachments. You see the layers, what actually encompasses attachment. You're like, whoa, this is deep, man. And you're feeling it. You don't just see it, you feel it. That's the seed burning. That's how deep those seeds are. Deep. It requires some real fire, man, to burn that stuff. It's not easy. Not if we're talking about real freedom. I'm talking about real freedom. I'm not talking about just, distract yourself, the relationship ends, I'm going to get into another one, everything's better now. I had a girlfriend that did that. More than one, actually. And I don't know how she did it. I know now. I didn't know then, though. I'm like, don't you need to go through some kind of process? Maybe like we're supposedly super merged, and now like, but then I realized, no, man, she grabbed somebody else, and now they're supposedly, like that. This is years ago. I'm like, they're not doing the deeper work. But see, I can't take credit for doing the deeper work either. So somebody said, well, that's good, you did the deeper work. Not really, man. It happened organically, naturally. I had no choice but to do the deeper work. So we can't really take credit for it. It's just the stage that we're in. This is what we do. It's like we're metabolizing these challenges, these attachments and desires. Like when you eat some food, it's a lot of work. You take a piece of let's say rice and beans. I like poor people food. It's my favorite food. My dinner costs like 50 cents. It's so simple. I made a video on my Transcending Shadows channel. talking about diet, a grounding diet for the nervous system, and then I made a post. I list some of the recipes and stuff, and it's also in my book. I have a True Health book. There, that flowed natural, didn't it? I have a book on preserving your sexual energy. I have an autobiography book. I have a plant medicine book. I have a spiritual book. So when you eat food, it has to go through the channels and metabolize that gross food. The body has to convert that into some magical way into actual, well, you can say, vitamins and minerals. I go deeper. It has to convert that into prana and life force. This is what allows the body to exist. A physical body, that's a surface level. The astral or energy body is behind this body, and the causal body is behind that body. So when we're metabolizing some of these attachments and desires because something inside is ready to burn the actual seed, man, that's a grueling process. There's levels to that. There's layers. So really, if I had to sum it all up, the point is it's natural and normal. This is the point of the video. I'm saying like it's okay. I didn't know it was okay because nobody told me it was okay. When I was going through it, I heard the opposite. You got to muscle up and be stronger, man. I'm like, this is deep. This isn't about strength, actually. This is something else. This is, you must not know what I'm talking about. I knew that they didn't. For the most part, nobody knew, man. I had to, I talk about getting downloads. You get downloads and somehow the universe lets you know what's happening. Or it directs you to, if the universe wants, it can take the form of downloads, or it can take the form, it guides you to a certain book or a certain person or a certain video or something. There's unseen forces that's running this show. Little cross currents, they're directing us, go here, go there, go see the Adjustment Bureau. Certain thoughts are being impressed on our mind. We think it's our thought. Oh, I made a good decision. You realize more and more, we're not doing anything. We're kind of like, I was going to say, you just show up and life happens. But even the showing up, we're not doing. We just happen to be here somehow. And then you start to question who's here. Not as a clever, now you're going to be a self-inquiry expert, but you just curiously want to look like, what the hell? I keep talking about me and I did this and that and I'm experiencing this, but what do you mean? The physical body? Like, what's this body? This silly looking body. This body's going to finish so quick. What's behind the body? The life force, the energy. Okay, is that me? Is that a tangible thing? Like, what do you mean? You see, the deeper people start to contemplate these things. And it can bring up a lot of identity. You can have identity crisis, and you grieve your identity, basically, because we're attached to it so long. All that stuff starts to burn up. So those beings most beings, at least here today, they spread their karma out like over lifetimes. Let's say over 10 lifetimes. You see how much softer and easier it would be if you took all your, this is my last video. I was talking about this, how so this might be your last arc in the soul journey, and if it is, it's going to be heavy. Because imagine, you take all the karmic debris and spread it over 10 lives. It's going to be lighter compared to if you're burning many lifetimes in one life. Take 1,000 years and squeeze it into 70 years. That's a lot. That's heavy. That's intense. It's like taking instead of taking a regular semester at school for 6 months, you're taking like summer school. It's like 6 weeks. Some take like a weekend class. They packed in a whole semester over the weekend. Yeah, those people are in fire all the time, man. So there's nothing wrong. Everything's right, always. But this can explain, because the ego gets involved. The ego thinks, it has the spiritual ego. I should be so spiritual, like that just nothing should bother me. I should just be able to let go of anything that doesn't serve me. I just let it go. You don't know the karma inside you. How can you declare you can't control it? You can't control this alchemic process. How many people I've seen, they think I'm there now, man, I feel so clean and light. I'm so good. And then life hits the hell out of them. Unexpected, you know. You get jacked because you didn't know that there was karma in there that required certain life situations to activate it and bring it out. And so then life, in its slow way, but very, very thorough way, will create some situation that will bring that out. And then you'll see, you're like, whoa, that's karmic debris getting burnt. Because your soul wants to be liberated from all that stuff. It wants to be free. It doesn't want to have this conditioning and this identity around, but it can't burn it without the help of certain circumstances that bring it out. You can't transcend something if you don't feel it. You have to feel it. You can't just mentally say a bunch of spiritual lingo and think that that's the same as transcending it, which is what the spiritual field is full of these days, because you can read and look at everything online and have a head full of information that does nothing for you. You get sick. It's like piling all this food in your mouth and you can't even digest anything. So I hope I drove the point home. All is good. There's nothing wrong. If you relate to what I'm saying, you know who you are. So remember this, that's all. And it will pass and you'll get through the fire, and the trunk of the tree will finally burn at some point. It'll get burnt up. Try to have some patience and compassion for yourself and hold some space for yourself, as if you had a kid or something, a baby. You're going to get, you know, baby, if the kid gets mad because he didn't win I didn't win the 100-yard dash at school. This brother beat me, and I'm like, oh, sorry about it. If that was your kid, you'd say, look, man, you did good. Like, you're doing good. You're working at it. You'll smoke them next time, or just keep going. That's all we're doing here. We're trying to inspire you to keep doing what you know you need to do. That's all anybody can do. Any real message or real vitality that you get from somebody or something, book, video, it's that they're just confirming what you already know, but this world likes to put asleep. So God sends messengers to help keep you going. This is the play. All right, you guys take care.